And now she's calling for Skyler to stand up. Oh!
He just
Skyler kicked her in the face.
What a jerk! What a jerk!
Is right in a pin, 2 and 3.
Oh! New tag team champions. What a jerk!
That's unbelievable. Are you proud of yourself, John Skyler? Don't fall for it, Jake.
Look at that! They finally are. Oh no!
John Skyler knocks out his tag team partner.
Skyler!
Folks, I don't know what happens next, but those men are your PWX Tag Team Champions. Now,
here come the straps.
This is illegal. We can't let this happen. Not here. Look out. Oh.
And Skyler playing a bit of possum. And Skyler breaks the count. And John Skyler, by hook or by crook, getting the victory. And I think that means, yes, that the man scout, Jake Manning, is going to get lashed.
John Skyler's about to save Jake Manning.
Oh, goodness.
How did that feel, Jake?
All I know is there's 9 more of those to go.
Right now. Save yourself the embarrassment, Boy Scout. Because there's nothing manly about you. Look at you. You have a bald head, a goofy mustache. You don't have an honorable bone in your body. You can walk out that door and quit right now. What do you say?
Just quit, Jake. Just quit. Well,
the man scout telling it like it is.
He gets what he gets now. Light him up. Light him up, John.
Telling it like
Light
it
him
is.
up. You tried to be merciful. He tried to be merciful.
Oh!
And there it is. That's what happens. I don't think he learned his lesson.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What is that about? That is as dishonorable as it comes.
When I look into Jake Manning's eyes, you know what I see? I see hate. I see hate deep down inside you, Jake. I see hate screaming, wanting to come out, Jake. And that's exactly what's going to happen at Rise of a Champion, man. Because, Jake, we could have been friends. We could have been tag team partners. You could have been my follower, Jake. Well, come Rise of a Champion, I'm going to pull that hate out of you, Jake. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set you free, man. I'm going to set you free from all of this world's burdens. And come Rise of a Champion, the Southern Savior will rise again.
John Skyler, I'm going to you up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is an quick match.
Well, there you saw it, Zach. A lot of history between these two men. Started out as forced together tag team partners, became tag team champions. John Skyler runs off to the UK for 3 months with his half of the tag titles. They're defended successfully by Jake Manning, only to have him return and cost them the title. And since then, these two guys have been straight at each other's throats.
Well, it's the age-old story. It's the Rockers, you know, reinvented 1,000 times. It's the age-old question. If the tag team's going to split, who's going to get the Jannetty factor? Is it going to be Jake Manning or is it going to be John Skyler? Which one of these guys is going to get Marty Jannetty here in the middle of the ring? Nobody wants that, but it just always seems to happen most of the time in tag teams. Rarely do tag teams last. John Skyler just seems to be a little bit ahead of the curve, if you're asking me. If the man had an opportunity to go make money and put bread on his table and feed his family, going overseas, by God, he's going to do it. Jake Manning is a local boy. Plain and simple. John Skyler is an international athlete. Why should John Skyler have to sit there and watch his career be put to a stalemate because of Jake Manning.
Some people would see it that way. Others would say that Jake Manning or John Skyler had a commitment to Jake Manning. As being tag team partners, I realized they were put together, picked by our fans.
It's just like his entrance music says. He's born in a small town. He is he's a large fish in a small pond. John Skyler is a small fish in a large pond.
Oh, and we are underway here right away. Of course, the rules of the I Quit match, these two men will fight until one of them forces the other to say, I quit. Of course, the last time these two here in Concord got together, Jake Manning got 10 lashes from his own belt by John Skyler. Oh, Skyler up and over there. Jake Manning has come out here on fire. He is ready to end this quickly, I think.
John Skyler saying that he knows the secret to the Man Scouts madness. He says that Jake Manning is not an honorable man, that he does not adhere by his own code, that he is in fact a hypocrite. Let's see if John Skyler can actually prove that right tonight. So far, he's not. He's getting a taste of every single turnbuckle in this building.
John Skyler, usually the aggressor in his matches. Jake Manning has come out here in full force, ready to end this thing quickly. And our referee, his only job here is to hold the microphone and ask a guy if he quits. That's it. There's no breaking at the ropes. There's no disqualification. Nothing is illegal. It's just one guy quitting.
John Skyler already showing signs of hurt with his knee. He hit it in the turnbuckle. See what Jake Manning's going to do. Locking it in. Nope, I thought it was going to be a figure four, but even prettier, it is a perfectly placed Indian death lock.
There you hear the first. John Skyler not quitting. Oh. And now teeing off on each other.
No, Skyler, you quit. No, no, no.
Jake Manning holding this Indian deathlock and biting him on his face. John Skyler is being chewed up literally. I've never seen Jake Manning like this.
Could John Skyler be actually the one who's telling the truth?
Well, you know, that John Skyler's been saying for some time that his problem with Jake Manning is that Jake claims to be honorable when he's not, as they're fighting back to the entryway now. This may go backstage.
Doesn't look like set up for a suplex. Snap suplex onto the ramp and onto the concrete.
Skyler holding his mouth and his back. This guy's been beat up. But you mentioned earlier.
I mean, how do you show honor in all the in an I Quit match? If there's no disqualification, there is no such thing as honor because there's no rules.
Well, you know, I would disagree. I would say that honor still exists even when there's no rules. That's the point. You see things all the time about as he pulls his head into the ring post.
Come on, Skyler.
Oh, you hear John Skyler just screaming out.
It sounds like to me that John Skyler might be on to something here. I don't think Jake Manning's an honorable man. I think he walks around with a chip on his shoulder thinking he's better than everybody just because he eats his vitamins, drinks his milk, and bakes his cookies. Oh my good God in heaven.
And throws him on our ringside table there as the table crashes and collapses under John Skyler.
John Skyler better hightail it. I'm telling you right now, he better get the hell out of Dodge so he can regroup.
He's fleeing through the audience. They're coming back over this way.
I shouldn't say much about it. Jake Manning is an honorable man. Jake Manning is a great man.
Take him that way.
There's no greater man than Jake Manning. God,
take him that way.
I'm sorry, I didn't say it. It was offshore. He said it.
Oh, double chops across the back.
What the hell just happened? I don't know.
I think he tried to get me killed.
I did not. That's a lie. You're just like Jake Manning. You're a liar and a no-good piece of trash.
This is sudden. Jake Manning driving the point of the elbow down. Well, these two guys, have we seen, other than the suplexes onto the concrete, have we seen anything approaching a wrestling? And the Indian Deathlock, that's it. Other than that, it's just been biting and chewing and clawing and slapping and punching.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better either, because you see Jake Manning's underneath the table. He's grabbing for something. John Skyler seems to have a chair. He's waiting for Jake Manning to get up. Let's see if we can see what's going on. You fans at home got a better view than we do.
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Right in the top of the head.
In the face!
And now the Southern Savior throws the chair in the ring. John Skyler. Oh, and Jake Manning's been busted open. Jake Manning has been busted wide open by that chair.
If it wasn't, I'd be surprised. You don't get much better than that when it comes to chair shots. Good Lord. See the blood. Skyler working on the forehead. Vicious punches. Wearing the blood like a wound, like a badge of courage.
Jake Manning will not give up, and now driving the forearm. Look, Jake Manning is a mess. Look at him.
No.
Blood's always kind of got me. I mean, here's the proof. We can see how honorable Jake is right now. He's bleeding. Let's take that blood down to the hospital and get it tested for venereal disease.
Oh,
Let's
come
see how
on
honorable
now.
he is.
John Skyler has that chair. What's he got planned now? Oh, drives it into the arm.
Jake Manning hasn't lost this much blood.
And now
since he lost
choking him.
Come on, Jake. Huh? You want to give it up? No. Get off his back.
John Skyler choking the life out of Jake. Look at the splotch on the mat.
Jake Manning hasn't lost this much blood since he lost his virginity.
John Skyler has busted Jake Manning wide open, and there's still fight in Jake Manning. I cannot believe it. Oh, and drop toe hold. Manning crashes down on top of the chair, collapsing it in the process, but Jake will not give up.
It's getting to the point now where we just might have to say, referee Mitch Blaylock, to stop this thing.
He can't stop it.
He can't?
No, as long as Jake Manning is conscious. As long as he's conscious, Jake Manning has to give up to stop this match. Oh, and look at him clawing, digging at that wound.
This is as gruesome as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. All jokes aside, I have not seen a man bleed this much in a professional wrestling match in a long time.
Who's the man?
So John Skyler for a moment had this crowd silent
Yeah, I mean, we're all
from
like
the
that.
gore. Oh, Jake up and over. Oh! But these two guys know each other so well. Jake Manning has used that move several times to regain the advantage, but Skyler was right there with a drop kick, and Jake Manning crashes to the floor.
John Skyler doing what he does best, mocking the crowd for their ability to clap.
Oh, and now looking for a dive. You don't see a lot of these from Skyler. Oh!
And a receipt to John Skyler. It looks like John Skyler is bleeding. That's how bad Jake Manning is bleeding right now. But I can tell you, the blood that you see on John Skyler is the blood of Jake Manning.
And the blood you see on Jake Manning right now is definitely Jake Manning's. He has been busted open by that chair. And now finding his way around the ring. Oh, he's got a table. Jake Manning with a table. We knew this was going to be gruesome. We knew this was going to be violent. But, Zach, did you imagine it would be this bad?
I stand corrected. John Skyler is bleeding as well.
No, John Skyler has been busted open from that chair. So both of these guys hitting each other in the face with chairs.
My Lord.
And now both of them bleeding like stuck pigs.
All this because they want the other man to say I quit because they couldn't get along in tag team wrestling. My gosh, at what point do you just got to say, give it up, guys, give it up? I guess
Well, again, forced into that partnership. They were never there by choice.
I told you, the fans, they're a mob, they're fickle. It's the fans' fault. It's all the fans' fault that this match is taking place. And the sad part about it is, you look at them out here, they're all happy to see this. As if two men bleeding and fighting for their lives and near death.
Sorry, Jake. Well, how about I help you through this table?
Well, Jake Manning said he was going to help John Skyler through the table.
And the fans, oh!
Oh, drops him down, crotch first on that rail. Look at the floor.
No, that wasn't crotch first. That was spine first. I saw it. He landed right there on the top of his hip bone. Either way, he's not going to be able to walk good for the next 2 weeks. And you could just see these fans out here. They chose this. They wanted this. They're smiling. These men are near death. They're near bleeding. And these fans are smiling. What is wrong? What is wrong with these people?
The war continues between John Skyler and Jake Manning. And oh no, this chair has caused a lot of damage.
I'll tell you what, with both men bleeding in the middle of the ring like that, this isn't a joke. If one of them's got a disease, they're going to have it now.
Yep.
That's one thing about the 80s, if you remember, widespread of AIDS. But let's not talk and scare people about that, huh?
Don't worry about it right now.
Jake Manning. Oh.
Jake Manning hitting the ropes. John Skyler with a drop kick. He's still got some energy in him. He might be bleeding like crazy. He might have the blood of Jake Manning and his own blood on his body, but he's still moving around. He's still got some fire in him. If he's going to prove one thing tonight, he's going to prove that Jake Manning is a dishonorable man, that Jake Manning is a hypocrite, and he's not a man scout. He's not even worthy enough to be called a Boy Scout. John Skyler not only is a Southern savior, he's also the seeker of truth.
He says honor is dead. Jake Manning disagrees. Could we see the pile driver on that chair? Could we see it? Oh, Skyler was able to fight off somehow. Look out. Finley roll on the chair. Now choking the man out. John Skyler and Jake Manning.
Either way, just because he doesn't give up because of the blood, he's still going to lose more because of the choke. Excuse me, not because of the blood, because of the choke. It causes your veins to convulse and lose more blood. John Skyler may be making a bad. Oh! Did you see the way his ankle landed on that chair?
He went for a moonsault. You don't see a whole lot of that from John Skyler, and that might be the opening Jake Manning needs.
He tried to stand and land on his feet, but that chair caused him to twist out from under him. John Skyler may have just turned the tides of this match by a mistake.
Oh, now Skyler with Manning headbutts.
Crowd is definitely pro Manning. Wouldn't you say, Shore?
They are. These two guys have shared a tag title. They've shared brutal matches. Right now they're sharing bloodshed all over the ring as Jake Manning dives off with that diving forearm.
Oh man, I have not seen this face or this type of Jake Manning ever. The man comes, this is not the Jake Manning that we're all used to seeing.
Oh, and the straps are coming down now.
That's right, because he's taking his honor off. He's taking that false sense of honor that he gives this crowd, that he chooses to make them all believe, and he's removing it. He's showing you the true Jake Manning right now.
And now trying to hook him for that pile driver again. Oh, and Skyler with like a hangman, and then that slingshot spear.
That is a standard John Skyler move. That's a slingshot spear by John Skyler. Asking him, he says no. Smart move by John. He says, ask him, I'm going to set up a chair while you're asking him.
How much more can either these guys take? Neither man willing to give up. They're both bloody, gory messes. They've hit each other with chairs. They've hit each other with everything but the kitchen sink, and now John Skyler has nothing but bad intentions. Oh, looking for sliced bread here. Looking for sliced bread. Oh. Oh. Manning pushed him over the top, and Skyler able to hold on.
I'm nervous. I am nervous. I'm sweating. I'm so nervous.
Oh, now look out here. Could he suplex him to the floor from the apron? Oh, that would be all. Oh.
Oh my gosh, they both about went crashing through that. Jake Manning fighting back now. Jake Manning putting him on his shoulders. What is he going for here? John Skyler reversing with elbows. I don't even know what to say anymore. Short takeover.
What is there to say? These two men battered and bloody. Look out here.
No,
Could he go for that pile driver on the apron? Oh my God, through the table.
Oh my God!
Jake Manning pile drove John Skyler through the table. I don't think either guy's conscious. You got to call the match, Mitch. You got to call the match.
This is getting out of hand. They've got to stop it. At what point? At what point do you just say it? Just put it on in. This is not awesome. These men are dying. These men are bleeding. These fans chose this match, and they're just wanting these men to destroy each other. Is that what it's going to take for the death of another man before this crowd is satisfied?
The table is in absolute tatters. There are pieces of it all over the place, drops of blood, puddles of blood all over the place.
Careers have been shortened because of this match, and the crowd is nothing but satisfied in this shortening.
And now Jake Manning rolling John Skyler back at the ring. I don't.
Is John Skyler even aware that he has a last name? Let alone does he know he's in Concord, North Carolina?
Oh, now Jake Manning says he's going to do the pile driver on the chairs. Oh no, we don't need this. We don't need this. Oh, that's one way to stop it. John Skyler went low.
John Skyler is showing a sign of resilience that I have never seen out of any professional wrestler.
Oh!
Holy God!
Sliced bread number 2 onto the chairs, and I think John Skyler might have got the worst of that.
Absolutely. He landed right on the top of the other chair. Did he not think 2 steps ahead?
Give up, Jake. Oh, come on. Enough. I don't want to see John Skyler win either, but enough is enough. Oh, now he's pulled out handcuffs. We've seen this before. The last time John Skyler was in an I Quit match, he was bloodied, and he handcuffed Lodi to the ropes and had his way with him. And John Skyler snapped. He snapped. And now he's going to handcuff Jake Manning to the ropes, and then it's going to be all over. Jake Manning's going to have to quit as he locks it in on the ropes, and here we go. And Manning fighting back. Manning trying to keep from getting locked. But Skyler's going to have him, though. Jake fighting, but wait. Oh, no. John Skyler's handcuffed to the ropes. John Skyler's handcuffed to the ropes. He can't get away from Jake Manning.
I'm surprised John Skyler's walking. He shouldn't be worried about handcuffed to the ropes. He should be worried about thanking God about how he's alive right now, let alone even moving.
Oh, and what's Manning? Oh, he's got that belt. I mentioned this earlier. Last time we were here, Jake Manning received 10 lashes from his own belt. And it looks like John Skyler's going to get some of that medicine right now. Oh! You can hear it ring out throughout the arena. Ah!
There's a look in Jake Manning's eyes. Shore, can you see it? There's a look in his eyes. It's not familiar. Who's this man?
Oh, God!
Who is this man?
Is John Skyler laughing? Oh, he's mocking Jake Manning now, and Manning laying into him.
Jake Manning lost him.
Come on! Come on!
Oh!
Your mother's a whore, Jake.
Oh, God. Oh, God. And Jake Manning is just whipping him like a government mule. The beating is just going on. John Skyler spit on Jake Manning, and now look.
Jake Manning's lost it.
I quit.
What? That's it? John Skyler quit?
Jake Manning's lost it.
I can't believe it. John Skyler quit. The blood feud between these two men has been settled, and Jake Manning is standing tall.
Jake Manning may be victorious in this match, but he's lost. I will no longer call that man a man scout. I will no longer call that man honorable from what I just saw him do in the middle of that ring.